Hello, guess who and guess what? Well, the guess who is, it's me, Robbie Susan Chandler, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator who lives in Quincy, Florida, right outside Tallahassee, Florida. And if you live in the area, I hold classes in my home every 2 weeks, and I would love for you to come over and join me in a class. So that's the guess who. Now, what about the guess what? Well, you can kind of get a hint here from the word Easter blessing that's going to be an Easter card, but wait. Now, isn't that beautiful? But, oh, there's more. This card, are you ready? Has a little pop-up. Little pop-up center in the front. Let me see if I can get it straight. So, these two sides bend back like a seagull or like a bird. And then you've got this pop-up part in the front. Isn't that beautiful? And that's what it looks like from the top. It's really hard to see this on camera, but I'm going to show it this way. This is what it looks like when you see it from the front sitting on the table. This is one of those Easter decor kind of cards, but it's a card too, and then we have Easter greeting there. But when you put it in the envelope, the person, if you decide to mail it, when they open it up, it'll look like this, and then they'll open this, and it'll just sit on their table like that. So let's find out how to make this card, and it's really quite easy. So let me get this out of the way so we can have more room, and while I'm moving things, I want you to see my little tool caddy that I sell now for $22, which includes shipping. And this is what it looks like. You would get an empty one and you would just load it the way you wanted to load it. But I call it my desktop craft tool caddy, and it holds all my tools. I have them right there where I need them when I need them. Alright, let's look at the pieces for this card. So let's start with what I call the base piece and the mechanism. So our base is very vanilla, and it's 8.5 by 5.5. Now we're going to score it at 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and 6 3/8. And then when you do that, you're going to bend it in the middle, then bend the sides back, and bend the sides back. And I'll give you those dimensions again. I'm going to sit there for a minute so you can see that. So here's your score lines, and it's 8.5 by 5.5. And it'll look like that when you bend it. Alright, now you also need what I call the brace. And it's 8 1/4 by 1 3/4. Now you're going to score this one at 2 1/8, 3 1/8, 5 1/8, and 6 1/8. Now the secret to folding this piece, and here's one I've got folded, you're going to fold the two middle sections in, and then you fold it out. And you want it to look like this little T shape. Alright, let me move these out of the way, and I'm going to show you how they go together. So here's one I've got folded. So this folds up, and you know I didn't really burnish this, so it really works better if you really burnish your edges, get a real sharp fold line. Alright, so there's our base, and this one I have already burnished. Let me put that back in my tool caddy. So the way this goes in here, you fold this up and you slip that little T right down in there. Now my advice is to put it a little bit below half, probably the top of it should be at the half mark. And you're just going to glue that down. Now before you do that, you might want to put these pieces on there. Let's look at this. This is Lemon Lolly, and these are 5 1/4 by 1 7/8, and you need 2 of them, and I embossed them with the Fern embossing folder. And you would probably want to put these on right here before you put that mechanism in. So you put those on and then glue this in. Now to glue these in, it's easy if you just kind of flip this under, put your glue here, bring this down, flip it over, and then you want to flip the front part back, flip this up, and put your glue here. Or if you want to, you can just put your glue on both sides and just slip it in there like that. And that's one way to do it. And just hold it until it dries. Alright, I've got one, of course, that's already been done. Here's my Lemon Lolly pieces, and here's my front. And I went on ahead and put my Easter greeting on the back. Now the Easter greeting Everything was stamped in Granny Apple Green, but the Easter greeting came from Storybook Friends. And the little fern down there came from the set that I used on the rest of the card, which the front has that stamp, and it's this one right here. Alright, so let's look at these again. Alright, so we've got this much put together. I'm going to let it stand and sit right back there for now. Now let's look at the front pieces. This white, you need a basic white piece that's 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And what you're going to do to this piece is take some lemon lolly and just sponge it all over the center. And you can kind of see it in my background. And then you're going to stamp in Granny Apple Green the cross we talked about. This one right here. And you get this look. Isn't that pretty? So once you get that, you're going to adhere. Let's look at this piece. This is soft seafoam. And it is, see, that's those two pieces. I'll put those there. It's 3 inches by 4 1/4. And you're going to cut the arch with the Everyday Arches die. And I used this one, which, okay, it's the 5th from the smallest. 5th from the smallest, so you'll know. But this is the Everyday Arches. And I embossed it with exposed brick to give it that little brick looking. To me, I felt like it's a window, and you're looking through a window or a brick wall into to see the cross. Now I put dimensionals on this and adhered it down to that piece, and I've done that with this piece. Now then I took that piece and put it on this pretty pool party piece that's 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. And let's just do that real quick since I've got my glue right here. We're going to put a little glue on the back. So the first level's dimensioned, but the next level is just glued flat. Just like that. Alright, so this is basically our front piece, except we're missing our little cross there. Now the cross was cut with the dies from this Faith Collection bundle, and the two pieces look like this. Here's the two pieces you cut it with, but they look like this. I used Crumb Cake and Early Espresso. I liked the difference in the two tones, and I just adhere those together, and you have this. So let me set this out of the way, and we're going to put that right here on our card front. And I like to pop the cross up so it will, you know, kind of, it is the focal point, so you want it to pop out at you. Move it up here. Okay, there we go. Alright, so there's our cross. I think I could have moved it just a little bit more. I mean, you know what, it's fine. Alright, so we have our front panel. And now to put that on, my suggestion is you fold the card like you're going to be putting it in your envelope. Put our glue right here on this section, and only on this section. And then line this up so that the bottom of this pool party piece comes all the way down to the bottom of your card. If you don't line that up down there, your card will not stand up. So that's got to be even with the bottom. Just hold it for a second. Alright, so see, now we've got our pop-up. And it just sits like that. Isn't that cool? And it looks like that from the front. Now we're not quite through. Oh, I didn't mention that the piece on the back, this Easter greeting piece, is 4 1/4 by 1 7/8. And it's the Very Vanilla also. Alright, down to decorate it now, down here on the bottom, I cut a little leafy thing. I thought it kind of looked palmish, but not totally. But it's this die from the Citrus Blooms. So it's the closest thing I could find that really looked like what I wanted it to look like. So let me put a little dot of glue on it because we have a flower we're going to put on it that's going to hold it in place anyway. So I'm going to put it about right here. Oops. It doesn't want to stay right there. And then I have a flower that's cut from Delightful Wishes. And it's these two pieces. And you put them together and put a little pearl in the middle. And it looks like that. And this is Daffodil Delight with Lemon Lolly on top. So let's use our flower here and just pop it down right here on the... Well, you know what? I want to put my cinnamon first because I want it right on top. So I stamped the He Is Risen from the Faith Collection in the same Granny Apple Green and punched it with one of our older punches called Word Window. It just seemed to be the right size, and I just wanted to use that one. And it's an old one, and it looks like this, but it sure does work well, and it fits a lot of sentiments. So I'm going to put this right. Well, I got some ink on it. I'll worry about that later. Okay. That goes there. Maybe another flower is going to go on top of that. You know, stuff like that. It's just an embellishment opportunity is what we call it. There we go. I don't know where that came from, but there it is. Okay, is there anything I left out? The pearls I used were iridescent pearls, basic jewels. So this is the card. It stands up like this, folds up to go in your envelope like that. Isn't it gorgeous? I think it's a great Easter card. So anyway, I hope you'll give this card a try. I think you'll like it. Whoever you give it to, I know will love it. I'd love to be your demonstrator if you don't have one. I'd love for you to be on my team if you'd like to become a demonstrator and join a team. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so and like my video. So until next time, happy crafting.